Today, one of my newer community clients sent me a note that read, "Hi, Lori. I just got this email from the company I interviewed with on Monday. It said, I wanted to thank you for your time and for your thoughtful thank you note. Unfortunately, we have decided to move forward with another candidate that better fits our current needs. I wish you luck in your future endeavors." And she also said, "This is so incredibly disappointing and frustrating. I hate rejection." Like her, if you've ever received that type of email that starts with, "Thank you for your interest, but," then this video is for you. Because I know exactly what happens next. In your mind, you begin replaying this interview and every other interview you've had, and you're asking yourself, well, maybe I shouldn't have answered that question that way, or maybe they didn't like me, or maybe I'm just too old, or I'm just not good enough anymore. Please don't let one company's decision become your identity, because rejection is not a reflection of your value. If you're new here, my name is Lori Lawrence. I'm the founder of Next Chapter Career Coaching, and I'm a job search specialist. And I help experienced professionals, especially those over the age of 45, land the right opportunity faster with a modern job search strategy I call the Next Chapter Method. If you've ever been rejected in your job search after an interview, it's just simply one data point in your journey. I've coached hundreds of professionals through career transitions, vice presidents and sales leaders, engineers, executives, healthcare professionals, government leaders. And do you know what almost every one of them has in common? At some point, they've called me after receiving a rejection. Sometimes it's after the first interview. Sometimes it's after 4 or 5 interviews with one company. Sometimes they were just absolutely convinced the job was theirs, and those rejections hurt so much. I'm never going to minimize that. You've invested your time, you've prepared, you've researched the company, you've practiced, you've pictured yourself working there. Maybe you've even told family members or your spouse or significant other that you thought this was the one, and then the rejection comes. And that disappointment is so real. But here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to confuse this disappointment with failure. Those two are very different things. Here's something most hiring managers would never tell you. Hiring decisions are incredibly complex. You only see one small piece of the puzzle. You don't see the entire candidate pool or an internal candidate who suddenly became available. You don't see the budget that disappeared overnight. You don't see the executive who decides to reorganize the department. You don't see the hiring manager who changed direction halfway through the process. And you certainly don't know what conversation happened after you left the room. Many times it isn't that you weren't qualified. It isn't that you weren't talented. It simply means someone else happened to align just a little bit closer to what they needed at this exact moment. That's not a judgment on your career. It's timing and presentation. Now, this is where I think a lot of job seekers make their biggest mistake. They make rejection personal instead of making it productive. The strongest professionals I've ever coached, they don't waste weeks wondering why. They get curious and they ask, what can I learn? What can I improve? What can I tighten up before the next interview? That is very executive-like thinking. It's business thinking. And that's exactly how hiring managers think. So one of the biggest mindset shifts I teach my clients is this: stop interviewing to prove you're qualified and start interviewing to demonstrate how you're going to make the company or the department stronger. Because that's the question every hiring manager is asking. Not, can this person do the job? They've already seen your resume. Instead, they're wondering, if I hire this person and bring them into our team, will he or she make our company stronger? Think about that. Did you interview and answer a question, and did you spend most of your time talking about yourself? Well, there's a huge difference, because whenever one of my clients receives a rejection, I have them answer a few questions, not emotionally, but strategically. Ask yourself, did I explain how I solve business problems? Did I focus on outcomes instead of simply describing my responsibilities? Did I clearly connect my experience to what this company actually needs? Did I make it easy for them to picture me succeeding on their team? Or did I just simply tell a career story or a star? Those answers matter, because every interview is going to teach you something. And let me give you a simple exercise I want you to do this week. Grab a notebook, set aside about 20 minutes, and think about your most recent interview rejection. And I want you to write down 3 things, 3, that you believe you did well. And then write down 1 lesson you've learned from that interview. And finally, write 1 adjustment you're going to make before your next interview. That's it. And notice what you're doing. You're moving now from emotion to strategy. And that's where confidence comes from. Not pretending rejection doesn't hurt. Confidence comes from knowing you're improving every single time. And one more thing, if the opportunity feels appropriate, ask for feedback. You're not always going to receive it. Many companies simply, they can't provide it. But occasionally, someone's going to give you 1 small insight. Sometimes that's the one thing that is going to change your next interview. Never be afraid to ask professionally. And so before we wrap up this video, I want to leave you with something I hope you'll remember. Your career's not built on 1 interview or even 3 interviews. It's not built on 1 hiring manager or a hiring committee. And it's certainly not built on 1 rejection email. It's built on consistency. It's built on resilience. It's built on continuing to show up even when it's hard. Because eventually that right company is going to recognize exactly the strength that you're going to bring to them in role. And when that happens, you'll realize all those previous no's were simply directing you toward the right yes. So let me leave you with 3 action steps for this week. So before you leave here, take these notes. Number 1, don't personalize rejection. Analyze it. Number 2, review your last interview and identify 1 thing you'll improve on before your next one. And number 3, every answer you give in an interview should help the hiring manager believe that bringing you onto their team makes the business stronger. So think about how you answer. That's the shift. So if this video has encouraged you, I'd really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Every Friday, I release practical coaching to help experienced professionals navigate today's job market with much more confidence, clarity, and strategy. And if you've been searching for months and you're just tired of trying to figure all this stuff out on your own, or you simply want someone to help you build a smarter strategy, I'd love to speak with you. You can book a call with me using the link below. We'll talk about where you are, where you want to go, and build a plan to help you get there. It doesn't cost you anything. It just costs about 30 to 40 minutes of time. And until then, remember this. Rejection is feedback. It is not failure. And it certainly is not your identity. Keep moving forward. I'm cheering for you. Bye.